Friday so far. This is a tutorial for Heartfelt Creations, and my name is Carrie Giletto, and I am so glad you're here with me. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my screen real quickly, and if you're joining me, do pop in there and say hello so that I can make sure that all's going well in computer world. So today I have taken a break from creating holiday projects and things and kind of went a different direction. So on November 1st, there were several products added to the warehouse clearance, and I wanted to give you some ideas on how you can use some of those products to create beautiful projects. So this is a fun one. We've got a little bit of a pop out element on it. So let's go ahead and switch our camera and take a look. All right, so here is the card that I created, and I am having a little bit of trouble seeing the feed. So hold on one quick second. There we go. Okay. Looks like I was in the wrong place. Okay, it doesn't look like I can see the comments. There we go. Okay, found it. All right. So here is my project for today. And I have mentioned before that my daughter recently got engaged, and she just recently chose the colors that she wants to have her wedding be. And those colors were the kind of peachy pinks and corals with beautiful greens and gold. So I was kind of thinking of her when I created this card, but it's just I suppose I will use it more for a shower, but it could easily be wedding, anniversary, even birthday. But here's the wow. When you open it up, ta-da, we have the heart that pops out at you from the inside. And this is a very simple, fun mechanism. So over here on this side, I have a little tuck spot where if you wanted your gift to be like a gift card, you could easily tuck that right in there like that. And use that as a tuck spot. And if you're not using a gift card or cash, you can always just sign it. And of course you have lots of room for further decoration in here, but I wanted us to have time to complete the whole thing. But I am excited to see what all of you do with this idea. Hello, Penny and Sylvia. And Anna, hello. Okay, yes, I'm getting the feed now. I was a little worried. My screen wasn't refreshing, but it looks like we're going now. So okay, let's take a look at the products. This is the Stairway Garden die, and it is one of the square dies. And if you don't have this one already, I want to encourage you to make sure you don't miss out on it, because this is where you get the eyelet square. Now, you can cut that eyelet square out without all the decorative on the inside and just have your solid piece so that your 6x6 cards can have that beautiful eyelet edging on it. And this is the only place where this is the set that you can get that from. The other sets don't have that piece. So you can see here this pretty eyelet edge around there. And I did use the inside pieces to go ahead and cut out the Stairway Garden part, but you don't want to miss out on having that eyelet edge in your stash. Hello, Teresa and Sue. I'm so glad you're here with me. And I also cut out this little piece right here, and I cut all that out in white. I'm also using the Delicate Daisy Corner. This piece, I believe has been added to the warehouse clearance. So this is a beautiful one to have. And I cut this piece out in white. And then I chose to cut this piece out in like a peachy coral color, but of course, whatever colors you're going with. But I layered those up. Here it is. I layered those up to have a piece like this. Okay, I'm also using the Friendship Rose Heart. I stamped this piece in the chartreuse green, and I stamped two of this rose. I'm sorry, I stamped one of this rose and two of this rose also in the chartreuse green. Hello, Valerie. Hello. So I'm so glad so many of you here with me. That's great. So stamp those out, and I use just the flower shaping paper for that. And then in the budding rose heart, I cut one of each of the small ones, and that was to create my bouquet on the inside of my card. For my sentiment, I'm using this little best wishes right down here out of the Celebrate Love set. And then I'm also using the decorative heart. So if you were not able to get a hold of this piece, I'm not sure if they're still available or not. I forgot to check. But if they're not available, you could use the heart from just the scalloped hearts. Let me see if I have it here handy. Okay, so there were heart sets that were released back when the circles and the ovals and things came out. You could use one of those if you don't have this piece. But if there are any of these still available and you don't have it, I would definitely recommend grabbing that straight away. So, and for this, we will be cutting out one of these, excuse me, in the peachy color or whatever your base color is going to be. And then we're going to cut this one and this one together out of white. Oops. And that will give you these two pieces right here. Okay. And here's my peachy piece. So there you go. That's so this one once, and then this cut together gives you this. All right. We'll go ahead and set this aside. And quickly, so I showed you this piece we already have, and these pieces. Now here's all of my stamped out pieces, and I've gone ahead and colored those. So I'm not going to go through all the coloring with you today because I want to make sure, you know what, my screen is frozen. Are y'all able to see me okay and hear me? If you would let me know in the chat if oh, Patricia, you are so sweet. I miss you all too. Yes, my screen is frozen as if it's not still live. So if I'm going to refresh it real quick, but if you would let me know if there's any problems. Okay. All right. For some reason, I checked my speed this morning before I got started, and my upload speed was slower than normal. So I was hoping there wouldn't be any troubles. It was fast enough. It's supposed to still work, but it did have a little bit of lag. Oh, good. Tina, the screen is not frozen for you guys. Great. It's just mine. Okay. All right. So here is my garden stairway piece that I cut out. And I also cut out the two inner pieces for this. And I want to layer that right here on this one. And you can see on my first one, I forgot to add that piece in, but I missed having that pretty lattice on the inside. So I wanted to add that. Now I chose to have my underneath paper be like a creamy ecru color, but of course you could do white on white or pink or just really whatever color palette you're going with. But all of these are cut to an 18th. Sorry, let me get this right. I screw this up all the time. 1/8 of an inch smaller than 6 by 6. So basically I cut 6 by 6 and then just trimmed 1/8 off of each side. And that is just to make sure that my card will fold well. If you leave it 6 by 6, it sometimes it'll have trouble on the crease folding. So that's why I trimmed that little bit off. And then on the front piece, it really doesn't matter because the large edge of our die here is going to cover up that edge. So I just made them all the same. All right, before we put that together, I'm going to go ahead and run through my flowers here. And to color those, I stamped them in the chartreuse green. And then all of my flowers are pink peony and tea rose. And all of my leaves are leaf green and vivid chartreuse. And I colored those using my daubers, my triangle daubers. And once I got them all colored, I came back with a pink colored pencil. And I've already done these, but I'll go ahead and do these two for you. Right there where the flower meets, I just made little circular motions with my pink pencil just to add the depth and shadow down in my flowers. And I think that just really adds a lot. It's a simple thing to do, but it really adds a lot to your flowers. So there you go. Hold it up for you. So can you see the difference there between these two? How one looks a lot more flat than the other. I can see it in person really well. Hopefully you can see it on screen. I'll do this one real quickly. But you can see this doesn't take a lot of time, and I'm not overthinking it. I'm just kind of just putting that shadow in there with my pencil. All right. So now that I have that all finished, let's see for this one. I cut it out of the word love. I cut out of the same paper as my background heart, but I don't want it to be the exact same color. So I'm going to come in with my dauber and my tea rose, and I am just going to tap all over this piece. And that's going to give it just a little bit darker of a color so that it shows up better on my background. All right. There you go. See what a difference it makes to show up just by putting a little bit of that tea rose on there. All right, I think we're ready to make our mechanism. So I'm going to go ahead and set all of our pieces aside. And none of these pieces are hard to make. This card actually comes together very well. It's just die cutting and some stamping and coloring. So your card base, you want to make 6 by 6, and it's going to be side folding. And to make our little pieces, you're going to need 2 strips that measure 1 inch by 5.5. Your bank balance is happy. That's funny, Jennifer. It's like, you've got all these. Okay. All right. So to make our mechanism, you're going to put it in your folder. And like I said, this is 5.5 inches long. And you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Then you're going to score at 2 inches. And then 3 inches. And then 4.5. All right, we're going to do that one more time. You're going to do them both exactly the same. So you're going to score at 1/2 inch, at 2 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and 4.5. Okay. And go ahead and keep your bone folder out. We're going to need that. Hello, Marilyn. I'm glad you made it. So we're going to fold them all inward. So just hold it flat and fold them all towards you. Okay, and so it's going to make kind of like this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and burnish each one, because you want these to just maneuver real easily. So burnishing will help that. And then this last one. There we go. Now, I'm going to add glue just on my little 1/2 inch flap. Then our little 1 inch piece, or yeah, that's 1 inch right down there. We're going to bring it up and glue that together. So now we have a little box. All right. And I'm holding this really tight because I want that to, when I go to use it, I want it to really be adhered well. Okay, same thing. I'm just going to hold it towards me and bend them all towards me. And now I'm going to go back and burnish. Okay, turn it this way. I've got it like this. I've got my, that's the little the short one, the little 1/2 inch end. I'm going to add glue right on there. Then bring up the other end and just attach it right on top. And the more square you can get these pieces, the better your mechanism is going to work. All right. So let me know in the chat, have you ever made a pop-out card using a mechanism like this? Is this something that's familiar to you, or is this the first time? Hello, Minerva from Galveston. She's kind of in my neck of the woods. I'm up here in College Station. Okay, so once we get them glued together, The seams are down. And there's the seam. I'm going to put them down just like this. And now on one of them, I'm going to add glue. And we're going to glue them together. And like I said, the more square you can get it, the better. All right. And now we're just going to hold those together for a moment. Get them. See what I've done here? You've just glued your two boxes together. All right. Now what you can do, you've got your box like this. I'm just going to squeeze them together like that. Okay. And that is going to be our mechanism for our pop out. Okay. There we go. And it doesn't matter which way you go. I went down, but you can also move them up this way and go ahead and squeeze that. Get them. You want this to move back and forth very easily. Okay, so there we go. That's all we're going to need. Oh yes, we need to do some in-person crafting, huh? That sounds like fun. Okay, so we're going to set this aside and go ahead and put together our pieces here. So I'm going to set my flowers aside. This piece is already together, so let's go ahead and construct our heart. And just going to layer this up. Now I'm going to layer the word love in there. Okay. Now, for this piece, I'm going to come back with my Tea Rose ink. I'm just going to use what's on here, I think, and just kind of flick around the edges to define that edge of the heart so it's not so stark white. Just to soften that a little bit. Right. Now I am going to come in with a Misty here because I'm going to be stamping this in the Tea Rose color, so I may have to do it 2 or 3 times because Tea Rose is a very, I got glitter on my stamp. All right, here we go. And I'm just going to stamp best wishes on the inside of my heart. All right, and like I said, with this pale color, I did it, probably 4 times. I don't know. I wanted to get it good and dark. That's pretty good. Okay. All right, so I've got my heart all ready to go. I'm done with that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put together our card base. So I'm going to take my 3 pieces here. Now I found this ecru paper in one of the packs that were just single sheets, where for $15 they'll send you a pack of single sheets, and I've been doing that for years. So I've got several packages of those, and this one I believe came from the Classic Wedding originally, but you could find, just out of your stash, whatever paper that you liked underneath your stairwell. I think this would be pretty made in blues or pinks or really any color. You can't go wrong. There we go. I thought this creamy color would also look really good with gold. I didn't add the gold into this card, but I do think it would be really pretty, to layer this piece up with the gold. Okay. And there we go. And like I said, I am going to add this little piece. Good morning from Canada, Valerie. How are you today? Thanks for joining me. So what do all you have planned for this weekend? Are you going to be doing some crafting? I pretty much am always doing some crafting. So I will definitely be crafting this weekend. Okay, there. I like having that lattice on the inside. Okay, now for my heart shape here, I did go ahead and add some shape to that using my flower shaping tool. And I've added some foam to the back of it, just so that's got a little bit of lift. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the front. Oops, there we go. Are y'all ready for Thanksgiving? Who's cooking for Thanksgiving? Or are you one of the lucky ones you're going to someone else's house? Now, I went ahead and I squared up these two little flowers here with that top bar, and then this flower with this bottom bar, just to keep that kind of centered on there. And there we go. Okay. Now, I did do something on this card that I don't often do, but I brought in some little gems. And any gems that you have that you like with what other color palette I chose some little cream colored ones to kind of go with my background paper. And I'm going to use just a little jewel picker tool that I have. And right on the center of each of these, I added a little dot of glue. And just came back and added the little gems to this piece. And I just thought that added to the wedding feel that I wanted to have, just to the elegant pretties. I often think that heartfelt creation products are they create such beautiful things on their own that I don't often feel the need to add gems and things. I feel like all the florals and the dyes are so beautiful, they just don't need that kind of enhancement. But on this one, I thought they looked really pretty and subtle and added a little bit of shine. So I decided to go ahead and add them. Whoops, missed it. Come on now. I have two different sizes, so I'm trying to get the like sizes here. There we go. All right, so there we go. Oops, upside down. There we go. These gems, Minerva, I believe I got these on sale, and they came in kind of a packet like this. So I have just lots of different colors, and I think they're a Pink Fresh Studio product, but this thing of gems, I think it was originally like $40, and I was able to get it like 20 or 30% off, but I've had them for years because I don't use gems all the time, but I do like having them for those times when I do want to put some on. So, all right, get my pen in there. All right, so now we are ready for the inside. So let's go ahead and open that up. And first thing, I'm going to add my paper, and I'm going to, even though there's going to be a white outline around the edge, just a very small one, I want to put my paper pretty close to the seam, but not over it. Pretty in Canada, is that Valerie? Valerie, you're in Canada, right? It's so far up, but it was pretty here all last week. We had just gorgeous weather, and then today it is cold and rainy. So, and when I say cold, I mean like 50 or 60, but for this time of year we call that cold. All right. I'm just going to test it. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to make sure I didn't get it on the seam. All right. Same thing. We're just going to put it right up to, but not over the seam. So there's just a little bit of white down the center, but that's okay with me. And I also have white around the edges, so that is okay. But see, it's going to close very easily. Whoa, you made 60 of them last year. Oh, and you're going to be a grandma. Oh, congratulations, Karen. That is fantastic. Congratulations. There's just I think I can say there's nothing better. I I'm a grandma now too, twice over. I have two granddaughters and oh, I love it. Okay. So, let's see, here it is. So, we've got our piece that we made like this. We're going to fold it up so that the V is at the top. And down here on these two, just on the 1-inch part, we're going to add our glue. Okay. And now I'm going to place that right here so that the edge is right on my seam. And now, holding it down, I'm going to close it up, pressing right there. Okay, and I'm going to hold that just a few seconds so that it gets good and glued down. Oh, thank you, Peggy. Well, Karen, you are quite brave to make 60 wedding invitations by hand. I bet they were absolutely gorgeous. My daughter has not decided on that kind of thing yet. We're at the very early stages. My son is the one, both of my sons are married, and one of them has kids. And then my daughter is recently engaged. So, okay. So there we go. Now, when this opens, it's going to do that. And that is okay. All right. It has that kind of it goes to one side. So don't be alarmed. You didn't do anything wrong when it does that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and set that aside for a moment. And let's go ahead and finish our heart. We're going to need our scoreboard for this. And I like to line it up so that the center is at the 2. All right. And now you're just going to take your bone folder and go right down the center. It's going to be, when it gets down here, it's going to be a little off to the side, but that's okay. Okay. And you're going to want to give that a fold. Okay. So go ahead and just fold that together and crease that. Okay. All right. Now I didn't score it or like burnish it extra. I did score it. I just didn't burnish it extra. But now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add glue to these two pieces. All right. Make sure you keep it right side up. So whichever side your heart is, keep it right side up. And you're going to take your heart one and lay it right in there. And now you're going to do the same thing. We're going to close it up and hold it down. Okay. This is such a simple pop-up mechanism to make. I mean, you could do it, of course, with a heart. You could put a big circle in there decorated for birthday, or, there's just one of the tutorials I watched a girl do, she used a butterfly. And I thought that would be really fun to do the butterfly this way. So lots of things you can do. You can even use one of the bigger flowers like the dahlia or something, having it pop up at you. There you go. Okay, there we go. Look at that. We made our pop up just like that. It's popping up. All right, so let's go ahead and finish the inside. Now, when I added this piece, I'm only putting glue down towards the bottom because I want to keep that as a tuck spot. And I'm going to apply it right over here. Oh, thank you, Sally. Thank you. It comes together. I love making things that have that wow factor, but it's actually very simple to do. So that's one of my favorite things. All right, just going to trim off these edges that are off the side. All right, now right over here, I'm going to come back. I'm going to add just a little bit of glue because I don't want those edges popping up and getting torn off. Just right there on the edge. So I still want this to have that nice tuck spot where I could put a gift card if I wanted to. All right, to finish this card off, we're going to build our little bouquet right over here. And I started with this biggest flower, and I didn't like pop these up or anything like that. I'm just going to, build a little bouquet. And there's no right or wrong. You just really put it in there. Oh, well, thank you. I'm seeing lots of hearts flying up. I'm so glad you like this idea. I would love to see what you all make with it. It really is easy. So I hope you'll give it a try. All right. Now, when I'm building my bouquet here, I'm trying to keep the stems kind of all together. And on these, I'm going to tear the stems off so that I can tuck them, or at least on this one, because I think I'm going to tuck it kind of right up over in here. Okay. Oops. Got him in there crooked. That's all right. Okay, and then this one. Gonna just kind of put right here on top. All right. Now, because I've got all of these stems kind of layered up here, I'm going to add a little bit of foam to this piece. And let's see. I don't need it to be super thick. So it's a thin foam. I think I put one on this side and then a couple down this side. Just a little bit of glue there. And I'm just going to kind of not completely overlap, but just kind of a little to one side, like those roses. There we go. Okay. Oh, I like that. It's very, very just simple and elegant. And you still have room. I thought about stamping on your special day over here. You could do something like that. But I also wanted to make sure there was room to write. Now, I also came in and I added right in the centers of these flowers just to kind of bring my gems onto the inside. Right in the center of these flowers, I went ahead and added my gems. Okay, there we go. Now, I came back with my glue and I added some glitter to these flowers. I added glitter onto this heart. And I added glitter onto my flowers here. So I just love how I love that lattice in there. I'm so sad that I forgot to put it on the first one, but that is okay. But there we go. I think you expect it to be simple on the inside and then like love. I love it. Okay. So I'll show you this one. This you can see the glitter really well on this one. You kind of see how I added it in there. All right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and switch my camera back. Right. Thanks so much for crafting with me today. I hope you like this idea. It's so simple, but it carries a big wow. So I hope you'll give it a try. And let's see, what do I need to tell you about? Oh yes, on November 1st, there were several things added to the warehouse clearance, and most of the products I used today were among those, like the daisy border and the hearts and roses. There was, a lot added to the warehouse clearance. So do check that out. All right. I hope you're all having a lovely weekend, and I look forward to crafting again with you same time next week. All right. Have a great time. Bye bye.